Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
All right. Count our asses in.
3, 2, 1, go.
Boom, you fuckheads. Welcome to another episode of Necro Asses.
Motherfucker.
Welcome to Necro Electric. I'm your host, Sean Motherfucker Skellington.
Oh,
This
name
is
change.
Kylie with her new pretty hat, Skellington.
It is
Ordered
very
some for
cute.
the store too, so look out for him.
Yes.
And maiden of the mixer here, Jordan Cheek.
Hello.
That's a good one. Maiden of the mixer.
Ooh, I need that as like a shirt now.
Yeah.
Or a sticker.
Jordan
Nobody will
wants a
get
shirt
it
for
but me.
I think you're a DJ or some shit.
Yeah.
All right, today we got a special guest. He's an artist. His name is Zachary Jones.
What
And a
up?
damn good artist too.
Yeah.
Welcome.
I try a little bit.
If you guys haven't seen his art, here it is right here.
Awesome. Very cool.
And before we get too deep in it, like always, go to goddamn YouTube, hit the goddamn button,
Hit it.
And-
Subscribe it.
show us some love.
Do
Love
it.
us.
I looked so mean last week. I was like, like I'm going to beat you.
She might
All right.
though.
Well, this is your first time on the show, so you got to do Who the Hell Are You?
All right. I'm so down.
Get ready. Get ready.
First question, and I got a message, so we've actually altered this slightly.
Okay.
You got a message. Was
Yeah.
it a bad message?
A message
Message.
from who?
A fan.
Oh.
Man.
So,
Okay.
are you a vampire,
Okay.
a werewolf, or a witch/warlock,
Oh.
or monster hunter?
I see.
I
Okay.
see. what you
They
did
said
there.
we were ignoring Jordan. So.
Yeah. Gotcha.
Thank you for the love.
Oh man, I'm Wolfman all day. All day.
Nice.
And not like the Twilight like change into like a real wolf, not like full on like wolfed out
Like
like
Yeah.
old school.
like curse of the werewolf kind of deal.
Yeah.
Like, let's
Dope.
go.
Those are the better ones anyway.
Those are the better ones.
The ones where they turn into a full wolf, you're like, ah, boo, boring.
those are in movies like called Blood and Chocolate. It's
Yeah.
like, what are you doing? Like, I'm not doing this anymore.
Too,
All right.
Jacob.
Question number 2: what kind of porn do you watch?
Oh man, I ain't gonna lie and say I don't watch porn. Probably like alternative, like Suicide Girls and like Burning Angel kind of stuff.
What the hell is
What's
that?
a burning angel?
It's like Joe. It's like tattooed
tattooed chicks
chicks
or
and
whatever,
stuff like that.
Oh, is it
Yeah.
like a suicide girl
yeah,
thing?
exactly.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
I don't know what that
I've
is
never heard
either.
of that. You don't know
I
what
don't know.
suicide
Sure you
girls
don't.
is
I
either?
don't.
Oh my
Oh,
god.
Jordan.
I'm picturing. I mean, in my head, I'm like, wait, Suicide Girls. What are they doing to each other? Why do you like it? I don't know.
It's like the most tame thing ever.
It's not like a porn site, really. It's just modeling. I mean, naked, but like they're alternative.
Okay,
looking.
okay.
But it's not like video, right?
I'm pretty sure it's a video.
Is it?
That's the man right here, dude. He'll let you know.
I mean, yeah, there's some videos out there.
Okay, well, I stand corrected.
I found him, but yeah.
He dug deep. He
I
went
dug
real deep.
Dug deep. I don't want to pay for that, so we're
All right, and third question: where are you from?
I was born in Las Vegas, Nevada, and grew up in Pahrump, Nevada. So
All right.
little
I
meth
went
town
to
right outside.
high school in Reno.
Heck yeah, Nevada boys.
Nevada.
Yeah, it's a fun time. It's different. I think my
Yeah.
hometown's like its big export was like meth.
Oh my god.
it was like
Sounds about
Mad
right.
Max and like it was crazy.
That's
I
awful.
loved it. It was hilarious.
Yeah, some of the stories he tells me about the people he went to school with, I'm just like, what?
Oh yeah, we did some
He had
wild
kids
shit.
that rode on horses to school.
Heck yeah.
Shout out
Brought
to
their
Sparks High.
horses to school
Yeah.
and parked the horse.
I thought that I lived in bumfuck nowhere,
No,
Texas,
no, yeah.
enough to ride horses.
It's a normal
Yeah.
normal town, but they had a little trail, and if you rode a horse, you could ride a fucking horse and
Yep.
tie it up.
To the school.
Yeah.
What did you just left the horse out there all day?
They had everything. They had
Yeah.
there was a not monster truck, but a lot of lifted truck gang called
Yeah.
the Tonka
Oh, God.
Toys or some
The
shit.
Tonka toys.
Boys.
Oh, God.
Shit.
It was a weird school, man. Going from California to Reno.
Oh, I'm
My
sure.
first day, they had ROTC, and like in California, everybody's like anti-guns, anti like everything, you know. And but then you go to school and I'm hearing gunshots like crazy, right? And I'm like, what the fuck?
You're like ducking under your desk or something.
Yeah, I'm on my way to like art class or ceramics or some shit. And then
Someone's open firing.
yeah, and I walk by ROTC and shit, and I'm like, oh fuck, they're fucking unloading in there. And then I got in a fight with the skinhead dude. What was his name? He had a weird fucking name. Maya. Fuck you. It was
he was a skinhead named Maya.
yeah.
Oh,
That's a recipe for getting made fun of.
Day one, dude. So, and then actually, I told her this. I don't know if I ever said it on the podcast, but my first day in ceramics, these two chicks come over and like they're like, "Hey, how's it going, new guy?" You know, and I'm like, "Yeah, what's up?" And they're like, what are you doing after school?" And I was like, "I don't know, man. What are we doing?" You know, and they were like, "Oh, we got some meth." And we're some crack, and we're gonna party. And I'm like, you guys are crackheads? And they're like, no, it's not like that. And I'm like, yeah, it's like
Then
that.
what's it like?
it's exactly like that.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
That's intense. I think I don't know why you would just bring out the heavy stuff first. Like, you want to draw them in to be like, hey, you want to smoke some weed after school? Be like, yeah, sure. And then whenever you get them, that's when you're like, yeah, here's the meth, man.
Is that how you lure people in to do meth with you, Jordan?
Yeah, oh yeah. I got to start small, and then I build up to the meth, and then it goes beyond there. You know, dirty bathtub crack, all of that stuff.
Smoke some hookah to like, let's go do some meth. That's how
There
that
you go.
goes.
Yeah, it was hardcore.
That's
different
crazy.
out there.
I just like how he's like, y'all are crackheads?
What?
Like they were
'cause,
unicorns
we're from
or
the
something.
Bay Area. Like, we're next to Oakland, like all these other stuff. It's like,
Yeah.
like smoking crack ain't like a cool thing to do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's, that was odd to me to have like my peers at that. I was only like 17 at the time.
That's so
crazy.
strange.
That's
Like growing up, even in a small town, like everybody's drug of choice was alcohol. Like we lived in a dry county, so if you could smuggle in some alcohol, like you were the man
Wait a
or
second.
woman.
A dry county?
Yeah, basically, like you can't sell liquor in the stores or the convenience
What?
store. Yeah.
How far do you have to drive to get alcohol?
I mean, it was probably maybe a 20 or 30 minute drive.
So what happens if you're on your way back and then a cop pulls you over? And
You're in
there's
deep
a bottle
shit.
of hooch.
Deep shit.
You fucking
Yeah.
kidding me?
No
Well, now
way.
actually they got.
When was this? Like the late 90s, 2000s?
Yeah, and it's only been within the last maybe like 5 years that they got rid of that.
What the fuck?
Because they realized how much income the town could have by people
Yeah.
buying immense amount of alcohol. So
How less uptight the whole fucking town will be.
I know. Everybody,
God.
the chill factor went up way high.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, growing up for me it was just like all my friends just smoked bags of weed and we drank whiskey basically and schnapps.
There you go.
That was the cheap shit.
What was your drug of choice growing
My
up?
drug of choice. I was a good kid until senior year, and then like first week of senior year, I got dumped by my first girlfriend. And
That'll
that
do
was it. And I was
Give me
like,
the drugs.
"Fuck my life. Where's the alcohol?" And I like,
Dude, women will do that to you, dude.
yeah. I just
Look at me.
just looked right up.
Vegas. Me and her got into this
Oh, let's not
huge,
talk about
huge fucking argument.
Yes,
in Vegas.
dirt.
I went back and there was this guy. We're mutual friends. My best friend is named Brian. Shout out to Brian Allerid, and he has a friend named Mike. And me and Mike have tried to be friends, but Mike's like he was born kind of a rich kid, and he's very I don't know what the fucking word is, prissy,
Prissy.
You're so,
Prep-
like
preppy.
preppy or something.
No, he's just like kind of snobby. You know what I mean?
Elitist.
Yeah.
And I've tried to be nice to him because he's my best friend's best friend, essentially. And then he had gotten into a fight with his girl, and we got way into it at this casino. And then me and him ended up walking by, and then I'm like, I could tell that he was fighting with her, and I was like, dude, fuck it, let's bail, let's go get fucking, let's go get smashed, right?
Go to the strip
And
club.
then he was like, yeah, fuck it, let's go. And then we go out. I go and buy like a fucking fifth of like rum or vodka or something. I can't remember. And then we go back up to the room because all the dudes are staying in one room. And I'm like, let's throw it back. And he's like, actually, on second thought, I think I'll pass. And I was like,
No, take backsies.
yeah, I know. And I was and she could tell you once I hit like a certain level of like, fuck it.
Yeah.
I'm like, there's no stopping me, right?
Fuck everything.
Yeah. So then, and I haven't even
everything.
smoked weed at that point in years. And Adam, the duffel bag porn guy, came up, and I just downed that whole fifth. And then I hadn't smoked weed in years, and weed had changed drastically since the last time.
Weed changed drastically?
Drastically.
It had
Like,
mechanized.
I used to smoke like chronic, like California chronic.
Oh.
And then at this point in time, Adam had some like fucking engineered like super
Like,
weed.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then I started
Okay.
smoking weed with them. I'm like, fuck this and that. Next thing I know, I'm in the bathroom. I'm like blacked out. I had
God,
puked
you were
over
probably
everything.
crossfaded as fuck.
I locked the door too, which sucked
Yeah.
because that was the only bathroom, and like 10 dudes were staying in one hotel room, and I was blacked out.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Sometimes I wish I had the ability to have a fuck it level that high to be like, man, I don't care about anything. I'm just going to do whatever I want. I get to a certain point and I'm like, oh no, I need to stop. Sorry. Sorry. I don't
Well, once we had Bane, then I some parameters
Yeah.
got set for sure. But this was like early in our relationship. We were both like wild as fuck. Like she's not saying nothing, but she was fucking wild as fuck. Like don't let
I don't know
her.
what you're talking about.
It sounds like I was going crazy, but she was equally as crazy.
plausible
What you're
deniability.
talking about.
But enough about us. Let's get into Zach.
Yes,
All
please.
right.
As you can see, we have some of your art displayed
We do.
Yeah.
around the studio.
Oh,
So
nice. I didn't even
cool.
notice that. Oh, that's sweet. That is super cool.
How many times have you been here?
Listen here.
Thanks, Jordan.
Listen here. My line of vision is right here. Right here. Were you in here when I said that chud poster always makes me think of like a really weird word for like boner? Like, I got
Yeah.
chud. You want to see my chud?
Stands for Cannibalistic Humanoid Underground Dwellers.
Okay, now that I know that, it makes it better. But every time I see it, I'm like, man, is it like a giant penis coming out of that manhole? Like, I don't know. Okay, but now
Penis
that I
coming out of a
know.
manhole.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a gay porn on
That's a
Pornhub. I think
chud.
pretty soon.
Yeah, that's not no Suicide Girl stuff.
No, that ain't. That's out of my comfort
No.
zone right there.
Do they have a man equivalent of Suicide Girls?
That would be interesting.
Suicide Boys.
I'd watch
That's
it.
a rap group, and it looks about right.
I don't
Asking
know.
for a friend.
You got some stuff to look up.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
So how'd you get into art?
Well, I've been drawing since I was like 5 years old. Like I picked up like Crayolas and stuff like that, and I was like, "This is it. Like this is what I'm gonna do," and just kind of did it by myself, drawing like Tyrannosaurus Rexes and like robots and stuff like that. I was never very good, and then I got dragged to Texas by my father, like after high school because I wasn't doing anything, and came out here and got into McLennan and was like, I'm gonna be a teacher. I'm gonna be an elementary school teacher.
Teacher.
Yeah, I
For
was-
kids?
Yeah, I know, right? Suicide Girls dude wants to like go to some bad idea.
There's two teachers we know. Shout out to Dustin.
Yeah.
So I wanted to do that because my mom was a teacher and I helped her out and I had like a heart for it or whatever. And then my dad's like, you do realize how many math classes you're gonna have to take, right? And like how many English classes? And I was like, no, I didn't realize that at all. And then he's like, why don't you do the one thing that you're like always done your entire life? I'm like, what is that? And he's like, draw. And I'm like, okay. And he's like, because I used to get in trouble in like class because I would just draw on my notebooks. And I like, they'd be like, what are you doing? And I'm like, not writing notes. I'm sorry about that. And and I just get in trouble for that. And so I just went into the art program at MCC and just fell into it. And that was it. So it was great. Loved it. And continued at Baylor.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got a very distinct style. It's very abstract,
Yes,
and
I
then you
love
always
it.
have like some kind of focal point.
Yeah.
I think it's neat.
It's different. So, like at MCC, I had this teacher called Professor Downing. Shout out to him. And
Shout out.
He would always be like, we would like say hello with like, "Fuck you, Jones," and "Fuck you, Downing." Like that's what it was like. And like this dude would like tell us like war stories about how he got like drunk on like coconut rum and like some tropical island, and like he was just this weird
Sounds
dude.
like a dope war.
He was a badass dude, and like he would just like tell us all these crazy stories and tell us our art was shit or whatever. And he would tell me my art was shit a lot, and he was like, "You need to get unconstipated, Jones." It was I'm like, "What?" He's like, "You always like trying to make everything so perfect," and I'm like, "Fuck you, man! I'm just trying to be the best I can." And then like my art was crap, and then I get to Baylor, and I'm just over it. I hate it. I'm like, "Oh, this is awful." And finally, I was just like, "You know what? Fuck this." And I just started throwing shit at a canvas. And then like my teacher was like, "That's amazing." I'm like, okay, really? So all those hours I've spent on this other thing, I'm like, here we go. And I just started throwing shit and like getting angry. And then like I love horror and like monsters and like, you know, like kind of religious iconography and like all kinds of stuff, and just threw it all at the thing, and we'll see what happens.
So is that a majority of what you paint is like horror and
Yeah, I do a little bit of everything, but yeah, mostly that kind of stuff. Like
kind of like dark pop culture.
Exactly. Yeah, like
do they encourage that kind of art at Baylor? I'm like I'm genuinely curious just to see if they're, because it's mostly it's not all religious, but it's mostly a religious school, and so if you're just like horror, gore, religious iconography, you know, whatever, are they like cool, do that more?
So like here's the deal, like there's the art school and then there's the rest of Baylor. We're like the little island of misfit toys. Like that was my crew. Like I didn't go to Baylor. I went to the Baylor art program.
Okay.
We stuck it out and we said fuck you to everybody else.
Yeah.
And that was because like I would walk through main campus and I hated everything. I was like, no, I'm not doing this. And so our teachers were super chill about it, but like it just wasn't. We weren't like in the main eye of everything.
Right. So you could get away with quite a bit.
Get away with whatever. Like people were like, I was a photography major, funny enough. And people were doing like nudes and all kinds of stuff. And like,
cool.
So,
spicy.
Yeah, it was interesting. So Baylor Art Department, the more you know.
I didn't even know they had an art department, so the more you know.
Yeah, no, neither did I. I was like, all right. I was like, do they have an art department over there? They do. Okay, well, let's go to that, I guess. So it worked out.
I'm an art school dropout, so.
So was Oscar.
Was he?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
I'm a theater school dropout.
Oh my goodness.
I went to MCC, and I got so burnt out my first year because I was taking all of my class, like 18 hours of classes on top of rehearsals for shows, on top of doing my extra schoolwork at home. And so by the end of the year, I was like, peace, can't take it, can't stand you people, I gotta go. And I kind of regret it a little bit, but at the same time, I'm like, it really wouldn't have helped me as far as like becoming an actress, because the only thing you can really do with a theater degree is teach it.
Right.
Yeah, you'd have to go to like some conservatory type shit to be any kind of professional theater person, and I didn't have the money for that because it's like $1 bajillion.
God, yeah. No, those theater kids are wacky. I love them to death. My best friend's a theater kid. Shout out Chelsea. She went to MCC. It was theater. I was art, and we all just got along. It was crazy, but they're a little bit too wacky for me sometimes.
Teachers are weird, man. My art teacher, he was named Mr. Dyer at Joe Mitchell at our Mendenhall. And that guy was a fucking piece of shit. Like,
what did he do?
Well, because like I would always draw the same shit I draw nowadays, where it's just monsters and stuff that I like. Yeah. And they were always doing landscapes and barns and scenic shit. And then he'd be like, he's like, why are you drawing this, doodling this bullshit? Nobody wants this bullshit. I'm like, nobody wants this bullshit. Like, who's buying fucking barn paintings, dude? Like, fuck off.
My grandma.
Yes.
Shout out to
Yuck.
I'm pretty sure that my art teacher was drunk every single day. She was this little short lady. She was probably about this tall. She was so funny, but every time that she'd come up to you and she'd look at your art, she'd be like, oh, that's so good. And it just like smell like whiskey, and you're like, are you okay? And she's like, I'm great, I'm perfect. And she'd move on to the next person, and I'm like, oh my god, she said my art was good though, guys.
Anyway. That's
good.
Funny.
So how'd you hear about our show?
You guys actually followed me on Instagram, and I was like, what's Necro Electric? And then
first, what was your first impression of the name Necro Electric?
I thought y'all were a band at first. Like,
Yay!
I immediately thought y'all were a band. Okay. And then I was like, Necro. It's like I was like a kid at a spelling bee, like Necro means dead. electric and it's in green, so I Frankenstein kind of stuff. I was like, dope. All right, let's check it out. And so I started listening to it, and I was like, oh hell yeah. My first episode was The Faction.
Oh, right on.
with
Chris.
That was it.
Shout out to Chris.
And I was like getting
John.
Like, I'm not
John.
from Waco, so it was like cool to like hear like all the backstory of like the Waco scene and stuff like that. So I was like, oh hell yeah. So
Yeah, we're surprised. This place has a ton of history of like
does.
cool shit.
yeah, it's insane.
It's just like it's layered with like the Baylor like Christian like
And
glaze,
Magnolia.
but under it all, there's a
gotta
whole
dig.
cool scene.
You gotta dig.
Yeah.
Like last couple episodes, the corn pone story.
Yes.
Oh my god.
I had no fucking idea, and then all these people came out of the woodworks after that, and they're like, "Oh, corn pone, fuck yeah,
Yeah.
Really?
yeah."
Holy
They started
shit.
sending me all his videos from like the early '90s
What?
of his band playing.
Oh,
and
I
shit.
need to see this.
Yeah, I'll post them. I'll post them on our
Did you
Instagram.
send him those videos?
No,
You should give it to him. I wonder if he has them. I don't know.
I'll send him. He'll see them. We'll
Yeah.
post them on the Instagram.
Okay, we'll post them.
So that was a crazy episode. I'm like halfway into eating a breakfast sandwich, like mayo in a corn cob. I'm like, ah! I'm like, all right, I'm gonna just drink my coffee from now on.
Yeah, I don't advise eating while you listen to it.
I don't know. I feel like we're fairly tame as far as like the gross level. We're not really. I mean, we did talk about like foot jobs and
Yeah.
butt sex
We're
and stuff
tame,
like that.
though.
Yeah, we're super tame.
I mean, tame compared to other podcasts I listen to.
Yeah.
We're on the on the lower level, I suppose.
No.
Maybe we need to ramp up.
Listening to.
Yeah,
We
I
need to
know.
ramp up.
Well, you probably listen to those like the murder things, right?
Oh yeah. Murder podcasts. The one we're listening to now are about about the West Memphis 3. Those 3 guys that got accused of killing those kids in West Memphis, and
Yeah, I can't handle kid shit.
yeah,
no way.
it's difficult, but I don't know. I love that stuff
You're
so
into
much.
kid murder.
No, not the murder part. Like just the the analytics of you know what? Never mind. It's already gone.
Watch out, Adler.
Yeah, but watch out for real.
So what's life like for you here in Waco?
Oh, it's awesome. I just graduated from Baylor, so that's
Congrats.
Congrats.
Yay!
yeah, weirdest graduation ever.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah.
She's like, oh, I'm graduating.
You're like, cool, you're
Plague
done.
style.
Bye.
Yeah, it's like I'm out. See you later.
Did they do a whole Zoom graduation thing?
No,
No.
no, we didn't get nothing really. So I was. Fine
Was it
with that.
even like because like in my high school graduation, like I totally like fucked my whole like school system over.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because I don't know if you heard the episode, but basically they had a credit system in California and a quarter thing in
Yeah, I
Nevada.
remember this. Yeah.
Yeah, and I was able to
Graduated early. And didn't
yeah,
know
except for my
shit.
required classes, and then one teacher basically held my. If he was going to give me a passing
Yeah.
grade, I graduated or not. Mr. Moore, shout out, fucker.
I had that exact same thing happen to me in high school, except for I didn't get the good guy. I got the bad guy. Shout out to Mr. Bennett. Fuck you. He was my government teacher, and he gave me a 59. And I
Government. You had a government class?
Yeah, government class. It was my third art history. It was my not art history. I'm so used to being in art school. Dang. It was my third history course, and it was government. And like every history teacher at my high school was awful. Like the first guy looked like Sling Blade and Mr. Garrison, and then the next lady was like drinking Jack out of her desk. And
Nice, I'll take that one.
and yeah, she was, and she looked like I don't know, like those
Drunk
old
history.
grandmas from like the scary movies, like those really mean looking ones.
Yeah,
that would, like, punish the
I had one of
kids.
those.
Yeah, just awful. And then this dude who was just like this GQ California guy who did not like me and like failed me by 1 point. And I didn't get to walk, and I graduated in July, and then then I graduate college in this situation.
Yeah,
where-
the fucking plague.
yeah, I'm
Yeah.
just like, yo, like I guess I'm not meant to walk across a stage, which is fine with me.
Aw.
Crazy.
We got time for an ad real quick.
Yeah. This episode is brought to you by Dark and Dreary Clothing. Dark and Dreary is an edgy fashion and lifestyle brand that embraces great design and unsurpassed quality. Dark and Dreary has quickly gained a following amongst fans of the occult, horror, punk rock, and heavy metal, and all-around free thinkers and retailers worldwide without shoving a preachy, trendy, or political message down your throat. So buy the best, fuck the rest, darkanddrearyclothing.com.
Boom. Available at Skellington Curiosities.
Skellington Curiosities.
It's pretty dope. I got a lot of cool shit from here. I have like a whole mantle now with like stuff.
I know he comes in like once a week at least.
Gotta support,
awesome.
man. Gotta support.
Thank you.
That's
High
what
five.
it's about.
Yeah, we're building up our mantle because Oscar keeps buying bones. Every time he comes in here, he's just like, I'm going to get that one, and I like that one, and I want to get that. And I'm like, okay, babe. Like, very soon we'll run out of mantle to put all of our bones. So,
Shout out to Oscar.
so what are you going to do now that you're graduated?
So I ended up getting a photography job, which was funny because I'm a photography major. Because I got duped into being a photography major, which was cool. Like my teacher, I took one photography course, and she was like, "Wow, you're pretty decent at this. You should try being a photography major." And I'm not the kind, like, no one's ever been like, "Yo, you're pretty good at this. You should like do this." So I was like, "Fuck it, I'll go do that."
Sure.
And so I
I'll
went and
do
did
it.
that and became like and did that thing and graduated with that. And so I applied to be an automotive photographer at like this dealership down in Fort Worth and Ennis and Corsicana. And so I just drive up and take pictures of cars all day.
That's pretty sweet.
It's pretty chill, decent money. So figuring it's working out all the kinks right now, but it's going pretty good.
Yeah.
I'm enjoying it.
So are you taking pictures of like luxury cars? Are you taking pictures of like broken down cars that you're trying to make look nice?
It's like I work at a Dodge dealership right now, so it's like big trucks, which is nice. I like that. Challengers, which are my thing. I
Yes.
love those. So
We're a Dodge family.
yeah, it's a good time. But so I like that. But they're talking about doing like getting like bigger and like crazier cars, like Ferraris and stuff like that. So we'll see if I'll be taking pictures of those things.
That would be cool.
But yeah, so I've been doing that and pretty much painting and then hanging out, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Do you do any other kind of photography? Do you have a favorite type of photography that you do, or
Suicide Girl style.
He's a suicide
Girl style. No.
Hit them up.
My DM's gonna be weird. No, I mean, like, I don't know. I like driving out in the country and like finding like old barns or like old like run down spots and like taking
Kind of like abandoned
kind
stuff.
of stuff like that, but like also just finding like old like swimming holes or like old historic kind of places and taking pictures.
That's cool.
And like I'll bring like models out and we'll like do something kooky or something like that. Or
Like
also like do
Suicide Girls.
Suicide Girls on the broken down truck?
well, when you have like 3 friends, it's like no. It's like, you want me to do what? And it's like, never mind, don't want to do that.
So if you had the choice to take pictures at an abandoned place, would you take pictures? Would you choose Chernobyl or would you choose the old broken down amusement parks that are like in
Amusement
Japan?
parks, easy.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's go to Chernobyl, dude.
Yeah, I'm not gonna
I do. I want to go
Come
to
back
Chernobyl.
with an extra arm, dude.
Yeah, exactly.
No, the radioactive levels are bearable.
They're fine.
They're
Bearable.
fine.
She comes back with like 10 tits.
Oscar would love that. He'd be like, yes.
I'm already radiated enough from like living out in Nevada. Like, I had this one teacher, she was Miss Moy. She was like this little Chinese lady, and she looked up at me and she's like, "How you get so big?" And I looked at her and I looked at her straight in the face and I was like, "Miracle Grow." And she goes, "Oh, really?" And that was it. And
Probably went home and ate a bag.
But yeah, I think it's like I live near like Yucca Mountain and like all those things where like the radiation wasn't, so we joke around like radiation in the water. So like I got big because of that.
Funny.
I mean, Nevada's where they blew up all the atomic bombs and shit when they're testing shit.
Yeah.
So it's littered. There's like no regulation in Nevada.
It's
I mean,
awesome.
it's getting better.
Yeah.
But yeah, for the longest time, that's just Wild West.
People don't. That's not a real concern for people because I would be
You ever seen
concerned.
The Hills Have Eyes? That's what it's based on.
Oh no, I haven't.
That's all
So I
in
didn't know.
Nevada.
Yeah, that was the horror movie for us. Like that was like it. Like once Hills Have Eyes came out, we were like, that's the scariest thing ever because like we were like used to like crazy ass people out in the desert.
Yeah, because they used to build the military used to build fake towns, and then they would put all like the dummies and shit, and they'd blow that fucking town up and see what happens. and then like that's the movie's based on like the people who lived near those towns and lived in them and got irradiated.
I hate that movie. That movie really gets to me, actually.
Yeah.
The new one or the old one?
All of them.
The old one was badass. The new one, I'm like, I never liked the remakes as much as the old. The old ones are better. Yeah,
nowadays they go more for like shock, other than like a good suspense, like scare.
Yeah. Like I love Rob Zombie films, but like the remakes of Halloween are never gonna touch like, the original.
No, false. The first Rob Zombie Halloween remake is
it's good.
Chef's kiss perfection. It's so freaking good.
Because as a kid killer.
Exactly.
No, I had my doubts going in to watch it, and I walked out and I was like, you know what? That was really fucking fantastic. I was surprised. Not unlike the bullshit that came out last, Halloween, whatever bullshit that was.
Yeah, no,
the worst one was H2O.
Oh my God, was that with Busta Rhymes?
Or it's a LL Cool J.
It had Josh Hartnett in it.
I don't know that one.
Not about.
You're not missing anything.
Okay.
We got time for another ad.
Yeah. This episode is also brought to you by Skellington Curiosities. Skellington Curiosities is the only curiosities and oddities shop in Waco, Texas, full of clothing, lingerie, accessories, oddities, and everyday curiosities. A spooky vibe 365. Visit us online at skellingtoncuriosities.com. And the Spooky Vibes 365 shirt is going to be coming to the store very soon, and I am very excited.
Yay.
I'm super excited.
If you guys are fans of the show, this is the one way to meet us.
Do it.
Come see us.
Do it.
Hang out. Like, you don't even have to buy anything. Just like come say hi.
Yeah, we got all kinds of dope shit. We just finished the casket.
Yeah.
We have a 1954 viewing
Take
casket.
a photo in it.
Take a nap in it.
Take a nap.
It's got memory foam.
Take a dirt nap in it. Yeah. Oh man, I don't care if it's Tempur-Pedic. I ain't laying in that thing.
I'm claustrophobic, but when they brought that casket for the marketplace, I actually laid down in it and they closed the lid, and I was like, this is actually kind of relaxing. Knowing that I could get out of it, I guess would be okay. But if being buried in it, like that's where it's just like, no, I can't do that.
Yeah, Kylie put memory foam. She lined the bottom with it, so I think it's mad comfortable.
And the sides. Yeah. It's very cushy.
There might be a snack compartment, some Bluetooth speakers. You never know.
Shut up! I want to get in there now.
That's like the caskets they'd have like in What We Do in the Shadows, like the OG like New Zealand one.
Yeah.
Like, they're just like they have like little snacks or something. Like Taika Waititi comes out with a bag of Gushers in his mouth or something like that.
Yes.
Oh, don't say Gushers around me, dude.
Now he's fiending. I'm gonna have to go get Gushers for him.
They have them in the gas stations now.
Don't
in
tell
like
him
bags. It's like I was like,
I'm the worst with Gushers.
Oh, they're so good.
Yeah, we know this.
I'll eat a whole box. She threw a box in my head.
The box away.
That was so fucking
That was
funny.
hilarious.
That was good.
I threw it away, babe. Nope.
Yeah, I don't like Gushers. It's the same thing that I don't like jelly donuts. I just don't like biting into something and then it's just like
squishes in your mouth.
Do you have like a past trauma or something?
I don't know.
That's trauma.
She doesn't like things busting in her mouth. That's what she's saying.
That's not what she said.
That's exactly what she's saying.
She said she doesn't like biting into something.
And then it like
and then it's
squishing into my mouth.
And then it bursts in her mouth.
That's different.
That's basically a more complicated way of saying what he just said.
All right. So, let's see. What else do we got here? We got... What is your thoughts on the elderly now that we're in the plague here?
We got to talk about the elderly.
The elderly?
The elderly here are off the fucking chain, especially right now. Before the coronavirus hit, it was bad with the people in traffic, people in stores. But for some reason, they're just like, they're out in droves now.
Oh, man.
Like more than ever.
It's insane.
I'm weaving in and out of traffic constantly, dealing with these people.
Get out of the way, Bertha.
Well, a lot of people like aren't working and stuff too, so there's a lot of traffic.
Yeah, our poor dogs. Every time there's like 800 people walking our block. It's like a parade.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Our dog. There's at a certain point in the day, the dogs are just like, "Fuck it, man." Like, we're too tired to lose our
done
shit.
Barking.
And all the bikes are gone. I went to go try to find a bike. I was like, oh, maybe I'll try to exercise a little.
Yeah.
Walmart sold the fuck out. Target sold the fuck out. Pawn shops sold the fuck out. I'm like, fuck it, man.
Which is so funny to me because like all the game consoles are gone too, like the Switches, like the Nintendo Switch, all of those are completely sold out. And I'm like, so wait, you're buying the bikes and the Switches? You can't have both. Buy one or the other.
They're covering all the bases.
Yeah.
I guess so. But to me, like, I don't know. I feel like now that everything's opening back up, people have this like sense of, oh, it's safe to go out now. So they just all come out of their houses like zombies and they're like, go to the store, go to the restaurants.
Yeah.
But every place we want to go, like we have this favorite Mexican restaurant in Hewitt. They're still fucking closed. You can't go inside.
I know you can't. Yeah, you can't go in the dining room. I think it's just mostly patio seating that's open.
Yeah.
I think a lot of there's one of my favorite Mexican restaurants. They just now opened their dining at 25% capacity. So because when they first opened, they were like, no, we're not going to do that. We'll still do curbside and pickup or whatever, delivery or whatever. But they just now opened their dining room.
Stay tuned for the next Skellington Curiosities Market.
Yeah, maybe like a month.
Yeah.
We'll see how it goes.
When it's sweltering hot outside, when we're all sweating our balls off.
Yeah.
Yeah, the only place we've been is Outback.
Oh, yeah.
It was almost like a doctor's appointment. It wasn't
so
even that fun.
Awkward.
For one, they had like a limited menu, so
Yeah.
we just ate soup.
Nothing that I like to eat there was on the menu.
They didn't give you the bloomin' onion at Outback.
Well, you could have had it, but we didn't want it.
I always order the seared ahi and the French onion soup.
Why did they have
either
limited?
one.
If they're gonna open the restaurant, at least have full menu.
Yeah, it wasn't full. And then it was just like, I mean, I appreciate the effort or whatever, but it was like they like sterilized our table with like alcohol, and then everybody's just like surgical masks.
Yeah, and you're so
I love
far
that
apart
smell,
from each
though.
other.
Yeah.
It's like it's quiet and it's like awkward. You're like,
It kind of ruins the atmosphere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It
And
does.
I've been in something that had a bunch of pepper, and then I coughed
yeah.
because it was hella pepper,
Yeah.
and then you see all these heads like, like fuck you, it's hella pepper, dude. Calm down,
Oh man. Yeah, I went to the bar like these.
Oh, you hit up a
you
bar,
did?
huh?
I did True Love.
What was
and-
that?
Oh
like?
shit! Shout out to True Love.
Yeah, shout out to everybody. All the bartenders there are so dope. But yeah, it was weird because everyone had to have masks on and like
in the bar?
Yeah, not like the customers, but like all like the bartenders. Like everyone had masks. You had like it was like seating, so you like go sit down. They like come like, hey, what do you want to drink?
Oh, so you couldn't like sit at the bar?
Exactly, and like you
shit.
had to be like
Wow.
6 feet away from the bar. And it was just weird. Like the first night, it was super strange, but like it's gotten a
is
little
weird.
bit better because like everyone's kind of acclimating to it.
Yeah.
Well, and they just upped the capacity. It just went to 50%.
Yeah.
Yeah. Although I do have to say, this exchange that just happened is blowing my mind because in this year of 2020, he said, I went to a bar, and you guys went, you went to a bar? How was that? And I was Tell me all about it. This is wild. This is so wild.
Strange times.
Yes, it is. That's
Oh my
for
goodness.
sure.
Yeah. Well, I mean, because it's, you never know what to believe, what not to believe, where it's at. I'm just kind of like, we're just living our life and trying to be as safe as we can.
making the
And,
best
we
of
have
it.
Bane, so, if there's a chance to even get him sick, like, I don't even go there. Like, I quit going to band practice and,
Yeah.
all that kind of stuff just because one of the guys that I was jamming with, he works with the elderly and the sick and all this stuff.
Yeah.
And, it's like, so who knows?
You just gotta stick to that common sense. But sometimes you get those Karen and Georges out there that just don't give a fuck about anybody but themselves, and they're just like,
Well, I think anybody that goes too far one way or the other,
Hit my
they're-
microphone.
gave it a little
Watch your hands.
tippity
Like,
tap.
that could've been my face.
I want to give you a kiss. Just hits my face. Yeah, but I think if you lean pretty much in anything in life, if you lean blindly all the way left or right with something, like typically you're a nut,
Yeah, pretty much. I like that. Pretty much, you're a nut. I agree with that fully.
Because I have friends, like good friends, that they're just on both sides of the spectrum, and every day, like that's pretty much why I started painting and stuff. Again.
Yeah,
It's just because I was so tired of like them fighting with each other and then like trying to convince me of shit, and then it's just like
what
fuck
makes
it.
me laugh are the people who are like offended by people who wear masks in their car. And to me, because I had a cousin or like a second cousin who was like, you know, what makes me laugh are these people who wear their masks in their car. Like, they look so stupid and there's nobody else in the car and blah, blah, blah. And I'm just sitting there thinking to myself, what the fuck do you care? Like, it's not like you're about to get in their car. Like, you're driving by and these little, like, these people are like,
they're like, fuck that guy.
Like, to me, it's like, mind your own fucking business. Like, dang. It bugs me so much.
Weird.
Yeah, I mean, that's, you know, those types of people too, because I mean, it's like we have family and friends, and they'll chime in on every little thing. You're like, dude, it makes no difference to you. What does it matter? If I got a new tattoo, what does it matter to you? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it'll ruin certain people's day and shit, you know, and you're like, why?
Yeah.
If I want to go around looking like Scorpion with a mask from like Mortal Kombat, then let me do it. Like, I
Why
don't care.
not?
Yeah, and I looked shady as fuck. The other day I went into Walmart.
Yeah.
I was wearing a beanie. I have the
black
skull,
mask.
the skull thing.
Yeah.
I had my hood on. Like, I looked like, you know, like
About
I was
to hit up the place.
Yeah, about to pull an AK out of my hoodie or something. But if that's how they want me to be, that's how I'll be. You know.
That would be so funny, though. Although me and I know we talked about this, but me and Oscar would be like, "This is the perfect time to commit a crime because people can't see your face."
know who
You
you
know? Yeah. Like, I don't know. If I was more if I was more devious, I probably would. But I have
committing crimes right now.
But at the same time, people are like wilding too. Texas sold out of ammunition like the first couple of weeks, so. There's a lot of people carrying. So if you go in,
all the old people, Sean. So you better watch out. The next
and they're
time,
just gonna blindly fire too. So
the next
be
time
careful.
you piss off some old lady, she's gonna pull this like Beretta out of her bag and just be
I've already
like,
been assaulted by.
"Stick him up."
I'll pull mine on her. We'll have a Mexican shit standoff.
A Mexican shit standoff.
You know what's the weirdest thing too is the stores like Walmart and a couple other ones, they installed speakers on the outsides of the
Yes.
door, and they'll play music.
in the
Yeah.
parking lot.
And then they have like, it's almost like being in a weird like Demolition Man movie. You know what I mean? Because it'll be like, attention Walmart shoppers, like, please wear your mask, all employees, or, you know, this and that, and they have all this like crazy shit.
I guess if they are making people wait outside of the store, like in a line, they want them to be entertained. What?
I
There's
guess.
just gonna be a
I don't
dance
know.
party while everyone's waiting
It's
to
just
buy
creepy.
whatever.
Feels creepy.
Well, see, that's the part too that's so weird to me. It's like, so they closed everything originally for all small businesses, only the big businesses. It's like, it makes so much more sense to close the big businesses and just
And
let
leave
the
the
small
small
ones
ones.
open.
Yeah, definitely.
Because then you're limited people in the stores. You're not going to get,
Yeah.
the small businesses aren't going to let people just ravish all their stuff and take
Yeah.
30 rolls of fucking toilet paper.
Everything was just ass backwards. Like, nobody knew what the fuck they were doing. They still don't know what the fuck that they're doing. So to me, it's just like, whatever, man. Like, I'm just going to do what I'm going to do. And just once things start to, you know, like really cool down, you know, it'll be, I don't want to say back to normal. Obviously, things are not going to go back to the way that they were. But I feel like things are just going to kind of, at least I hope so.
Well, I feel like you're more acclimated because you grew up in a dry county.
It's true. It's true. You know,
I can't imagine.
I'm telling you, when people like when I would sneak out and go to parties. Sorry, mom and dad. When I would sneak out and go
She's
to
not
parties, and people would like pull out alcohol, everyone's just like, it's like the, you know, holy grail. Oh, like, oh my God, you got the beer, you got the alcohol. You know, it was always a good time. I mean.
Wow.
I would sneak out and go to the parties and risk my freedom as a teenager, and then it would be like the lamest thing ever, and you're just like, oh God, and I can't go home because somebody drove me.
Smirnoff Ice and shit.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Of course, somebody
Bad
who was a
days.
lightweight, it was like, woo, 2 Smirnoff Ices later, it's like, yeah.
What was that game where you like you make someone chug a Smirnoff? What was that game?
A bad game.
I'm telling you, she was wild.
No, so like you're at a party and you like hide a Smirnoff under like a couch pillow or something, and then if someone finds it, they have to get on one knee and chug it.
I have never heard
Shout
of
out to
this.
Chico, because that's where she went to college.
Huh.
This broad used to party at night and then
Call me a bro.
party all night, then go up on her roof, and then her and her friends would
Watch
yell
the girls do
yell at the
walks of
girls are
shame.
doing the walks of shame.
Oh my god.
What would you say to them?
Not really say much. I mean, it was just funny to watch. I'm sure they heard us laughing, but
I'd be like, you look great stumbling like
Yeah.
that.
Jason's a dickhead.
Well, we're approaching the midnight hour here. We got some shout outs.
Yeah. Shout out to Black Daisy Boutique. They made an announcement that they're opening a store downtown with the, I can't remember the name of the
Jessica
salon.
Rayborn, and
Yes.
it's going to be called Wicked.
Wicked, yes. I'm super excited for you guys, and I'm going to be down there all the time. You're going to be like, Jordan, get out of my store. And I'll say no, because I'm going to buy stuff. So shout out to you guys. That's really awesome. Congratulations.
Yay.
Super cool.
Shout out to Oscar Fernandez for buying all our bones.
Yeah.
And shout out to Zach here for hooking us up
Appreciate
with some
it.
dope ass art.
Thank you.
Yes, we love
Anytime.
it.
And look
We love
out
it.
for our movie. We've already started production on it.
Yes.
Everything's looking dope.
Woot woot.
Shout out to everyone helping with the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone getting together here and there, and shout out to Sean for putting together the schedule. I was worried I was going to have to do a lot of this, but he's doing everything. So thank you.
What about you, bro?
Yeah, definitely shout out to LaSalle Shops. I just got some of my paintings up there for sale. So if you want some,
Nice.
Armando and Katie.
Yay.
they're so awesome. I swear, Katie's so cool.
Yeah, they both are.
Yeah.
Love them.
And then shout out to True Love because Eric's bought 7 of my paintings and supported
Nice.
me
That's
crazy.
awesome.
And and all my friends who know I'm on this and going crazy that I'm on this show. So
Are they hanging in True Love?
yeah, there's one.
Oh.
There's a huge one behind the karaoke booth. That's mine. And then he's getting them framed. He's gonna hang up
Oh, that's
6 more of
awesome.
them. There's
That's
one
great.
that's based
Yeah.
on Seven, the movie,
Yeah.
with Brad Pitt and
Ooh,
stuff.
nice.
Yeah,
So everyone go to True Love and check it out.
Yeah, yeah. Check
And
out
then what's your Instagram handle?
Zach James Jones art. I know it's kind
It's a
of.
mouthful.
I need to figure it out because I'm
Don't change it now, dude.
I know, right? Yeah, I can't, I'm kind of stuck.
You
But
stuck now.
Yeah, my whole name is Zachary James Allen Jones, and so I'm a whole clan of white people apparently. That's not good.
But
to
it's all
say.
like one syllable, so it's like Zach James Jones art.
Yeah, exactly.
There you go.
So I was just like, which one do I put in? Oh, I guess James. All right, look up.
That's awesome. You know what's funny too? On the Necro Electric page, I always try to promote local businesses, artists, and everything. And I actually made one for Oscar. And I was like, oh, he's going to think this is cool. And then I went to go tag his name, and it's Oscar Farts.
It is because he just made a new website, and he was asking.
Oscar F. Art.
Yeah.
Yes, because his
Oh.
well, because
get
it was funny because we were actually sitting on the couch, and he's like, "What should I name my website, babe?" And I was like, "I don't know, farts." Just being dumb, and he was like, "That's brilliant! It's Oscar F. Fernandez, and then arts." And I was like, "Oh my god, why did I do that?" And he's so happy and proud of it. He's like, "Yes, farts," because he's a child. But yes, that's
amazing.
his new Instagram handle, and that's where all of his art is. So
That's awesome.
go check out Oscar Farts.
And be sure to check out Zach.
Appreciate
And let's
it.
we'll see you next time.
Yeah. Bye.
Later.
Later.
Boom.